Spencer Rattler on the Saints quarterback competition at the 2025 Saints Hall of Fame Celebrity Golf Classic, ladies and gentlemen. So we did a Mickey Loomis video where Mickey was interviewed at the Golf Classic. And now, Spencer Rattler, the Rat Daddy, the Rat King. Love him like a brother, okay? I think he's going to get a fair shot at this thing. I think the triple threat match between Hunter Deckers, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shough, Jake Haener on a pole match. I think Rattler has a chance here. So we're going to listen to what the Rat Daddy has to say, react along the way, like only I can do.
I'm going to start with the softball. I saw you play golf,
My headset's off.
So I guess your game is okay for this.
Hey, should be ready out here.
Back.
Had a good weekend in Vegas at the his little charity event, so it was a good time, man. Had some fun.
Just as far as the season and the opportunity you have, what you did last season and now kind of a blank slate with the new coaching staff, how exciting is that for you?
Super exciting. I mean, loving the new staff, obviously loving the team. We've had a great, 3-4 weeks so far of our phase 1 and 2, and just looking forward to starting out Tuesday in OTAs, get on that field, spin the rock around with the guys, and just keep implementing this offense. I'm enjoying it, looking forward to the opportunity.
I bet Rattler hasn't left the facility. I bet he hasn't left. Just a mattress, just a blow-up mattress right there on the field, the practice field, and he's just throwing the ball against the wall. That ball, that half of it is flat, so it bounces back at you. Very depressing. Speaking of depressing, when Hurricane Katrina hit, I was a wee lad. I was like, 14 years old or something like that. So I don't feel like doing the math, but we had to evacuate. My house got something like 11, 12 feet that I grew up in. So we went to Destin and then Gulf Shores. At one point, we were stuck in, I think, Gulf Shores for like a couple of weeks, all right? And I remember I had a Joe Montana, I think it was Joe Montana. It might have been Steve Young, but it was a quarterback, and it was his like branded football. And it came with, it's horribly sad to think about, came with a bungee cord you wrapped around your waist. And the end of the football had like a clip on it that you clipped the other end of the bungee cord. And so you would throw the football, okay? You would throw it as hard as you can or whatever, and the bungee cord would snap back and send the football back at you at about 400 miles an hour, and then you could catch it. So, and then just keep going. So it was a way to play catch with yourself, which is not a euphemism. And I did that for hours and hours and hours at a condo in the outside of a condo. I think it was in Gulf Shores. I think this was after Destin. And I sit there and think about now what the people in the condo must have thought, where I'm just sitting there for hours out in the little green area, just spinning the pill, zipping it back behind my head, trying to catch it before it knocked me out. But, that's probably why I'm so accurate with the rock. But that's what Spencer's doing, long story short.
Colin's talked a lot about the language and how much he thinks about it and how much he tries to make it easily digestible and understandable. Is there anything about just the language of the offense that stands out to you and how it's put together?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely less wordy than last year. We tagged a lot of stuff last year, which each offense has their own thing like that. It's not like we're 2-word play calls, but I like that, we implement some tempo, some RPOs. You've seen what he's done with all these quarterbacks and skill positions. So
what was that? Is that a bug? Did you see that? Just flying to the left of the screen?
Some tempo, some RPOs. You've seen what he's done with all these quarterbacks.
It was a dragonfly or something. That was insane. I just watched the look at this thing. I just watched the Jurassic Park trailer. So I have my eyes open for dinosaurs. All right, now here's Rattler. He's sensing the pressure in the pocket of these bugs. Watch how he operates, keeps his head downfield. Watch
2-word
this.
play calls, but I like that, we implement some tempo, some RPOs. You've seen what he's done with all these
Head
quarterbacks and skill
downfield. See, Jake Haener, he would have went down. He would have went down right there.
So,
I'm just kidding,
definitely
Jake.
enjoyed
Damn.
watching his offenses from afar the last few years, and I'm excited to be in it now.
Well, now a year under your belt, what has the offseason looked like for you?
It was good. Was training back home in Arizona and then got back out here and, got right back to it. I feel like a lot of us did the same stuff, worked out, played golf, enjoyed our time off, but we're looking forward to getting back.
Sounds like my weekends. He didn't mention the 40 beers and the copious gambling, but listen, again, okay, I want to make this clear. I'm not rooting for anybody in this quarterback race, in this battle, in this mano-a-mano situation we're in, okay? I don't care who wins. But I've never loved a man like I love Spencer Rattler. Okay? I mean, this is a leader right here. This is a... Listen, hey, edit that part out. The part... Listen, the part where the never loved a man part, edit that part out. Okay? We don't need... Now listen. Okay, Spencer Rattler, he's a leader. I mean, you can see in his eyes, ladies and gentlemen. You can see in his eyes, you can listen to him. Does he sound like a guy who's just going to lie down? Does he sound like a guy who's like, oh, they drafted Tyler Shough. Oh, all shucks. I guess I'll just go do something else. Spencer Rattler is talking and walking and sounding like he's the starter of this damn team. He was playing golf with Patrick Mahomes. All right, how many backups in the NFL are out there playing golf with Patrick Mahomes? I mean, you got to give Rattler, and I've also seen a lot of conversation now swinging. Okay, no pun intended with the golf thing. But I've seen a lot of conversation swinging where now that we're separate from the draft and we're getting closer to OTAs and we're getting closer to camp and we're getting closer to preseason, people are like, "Oh yeah, Rattler's got a pretty sweet arm too. Oh yeah." Some of that was awesome. Oh, yeah. And now they're around him. They're remembering some of that swagger, some of that braggadocio that people liked about Rattler last year. And they're like, oh, man, yeah, I guess he was throwing to Dante Pettis and Stone Cold Kevin Austin. I guess he was throwing to, people who were also part-time down at walk-ons. So I can't wait, man.
How does the dynamic of the quarterback room change now that there's not a veteran there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just keep taking it day by day. I think it's a tight QB room already. I've known Shough for a while now, being from Arizona, and obviously Hayner's here. So it's a tight-knit room. Love the coaches, love the guys in there, and we're just working right now.
Were you surprised to hear Derek retire? Because we kind of all were.
Yeah, we wasn't surprised, Wasn't surprised, but I'm just happy for him. He did a lot for me, helped me out a ton, and like he said I could reach out to him whenever. So I think that's special. I think he was a good leader for us, and much respect for him.
How do you not put too much pressure on yourself, knowing that this is wide open competition? Kind of that fine line of just do what I do without kind of putting too much pressure on myself.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put too much pressure on yourself. It's year 2, great opportunity ahead of me. Just got to keep working, keep my head down, and just show what I got.
You talk about.
I'll say this. This is probably one of the most, if not the most, truly wide open, truly fair quarterback battles you'll ever see. I mean, I can't think of a situation that is more fair than this, because normally you've got a high drafted player, you got a veteran, or you got, it's swinging one way pretty good. Like, it's okay, 70% to the young guy or 70% to the vet. We'll see what happens, though. This is truly 50-50. This is truly one of these guys goes and wins it. And the age is about the same. I'd give, obviously, the experience to Rattler. Physical traits about the same. I mean, the only real difference is the height. That's it. The rest of it is kind of the exact same. So, and I understand that Kellen drafted Shough, but he's going to put the best guy on the field. And these two, one of them has to win this. One of them has to take this job. And when more I think about it, the more I think that is an advantage to Rattler, because he's already been there. He doesn't have to deal with where's my locker room? Where do I park? Who do I talk to? I got to introduce myself. He's just getting to work. So we have a very short amount of time. And I will say, too, like, if Rattler does win the starting job, that doesn't mean Shough is out. Like, Shough could come in week 3, week 2, week 1, week 4. Like, if Rattler struggles, it doesn't, and vice versa. Shout out to Pastor Troy. If you got that, if you understood the Pastor Troy vice versa drop there, shout out in the chat. Who in the hell else in the Saints content creator world can do what I do, drop a Pastor Troy vice versa, just quip out of nowhere? It is shocking, ladies and gentlemen. But vice versa, same goes if Shough wins, right? If Shough wins, doesn't mean Rattler's done. Shough could play for a couple weeks, not working out, Rattler comes in, not working out, back to Shough, and he can take. Like, there's a lot that can happen here, but I really do believe that it is a fair, tried and true, one-on-one, 50-50, however you want to say it. It's going to be a battle out there. And that's what I think Kellen Moore wanted to set up. I think he wanted to set this up, set this competition up and say, look, as long as one of them goes through the fire, fine. You know, I don't really care which one it is. But let's set it up to where it gives ourselves the best chance of having a quarterback moving forward.
Knowing Shough for a long time, but what do you remember about maybe the close proximity that y'all had some years back?
You know, we weren't close like that, but, you know, mutually had respect for each other, you know, coming up in the same area, like me, him, Brock Purdy, guys like that. So, you know, I've always had respect for him, you know, followed him from afar and, you know, excited to compete with him.
What was your reaction when the team took him, you know, early in that second round?
It wasn't surprising to me. You know, I knew with Derek possibly retiring, we needed another guy. But, you know, you can't control that. That's out of your control. Control what you can.
Pretty wild that Rattler is making it sound like he knew that Derek was retiring, which, you know, I'm sure they have conversations and they have conversations to the side and all, especially being quarterbacks, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Carr told Haener and Rattler, or, you know, there was some kind of inkling. But, you know, I mean, making it sound like a draft night, he knew Derek was retiring.
How much of an edge do you think you potentially have having more reps, more experience, and starting some games in the NFL last year compared to him, you know, being a rookie?
No doubt. I think it helps a lot, just with the speed of everything, understanding, you know, what you're going to see week in, week out, what the prep takes. So just want to take that all up to another level and just keep honing my craft and keep getting better.
Could you have envisioned going into year two with the most regular season starts of anybody in the quarterback room?
Probably not.
That was pretty wild.
I mean, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, was grateful to get those starts last year. Hopefully get to build on that this year.
With the schedule coming out, how much are you looking forward to that home opener, or the opener, yeah?
Yeah, against Zona, all right? Zona guy. So now he gets to face them in the Dome. I'll be there. I'll tell you that right now. I'll be front and center.
Cardinals at home, so it's a hometown team. It would be pretty cool to play against them.
What's your thoughts on no primetime games?
Again, control what you can. You know, I guess that gives us all a little edge, you know, but can't control it. Got to go out there and make them notice you.
I talked about this before, okay? There is something to this, like, alpha dog, alpha type mentality that certain players have. And if you have ever been around the 1% of the 1% of the alpha athlete, whatever, in any sport, they tick different. And in certain areas, in certain rooms or whatever, like if you're a 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round pick that's from Illinois and you're a 2-star recruit and, you know, whatever, and like you might shy away from that. These hombres, and Spencer Rattler is certainly one of them, you do not become the number 1 quarterback prospect in high school, the favorite to win the Heisman, the favorite to be the first overall pick, Lincoln Riley's chosen guy at Oklahoma. You don't win the Elite 11 camp. You don't have a TV show following you around when you're a 13-year-old or whatever he was, whenever he's in high school. That doesn't happen without you being that kind of guy. This competition, I'll go ahead and tell you, Spencer Rattler is welcoming this competition. And the idea that all he's got to do is beat out Shough to win this thing and to be the starter and to be a starter in the NFL, he welcomes that. He's happy about it. It doesn't faze him one bit at all. Okay? Now, that's all fine and dandy. You still have to perform. That's all cool. But if you don't get the job done on the field, it doesn't matter, right? So it is what it is. But I said it last year with Rattler, and that's where he is different than who the Saints have picked before. Because before it was the, you know, like super low ceiling, high floor kind of guys, but, you know, none of them were like these big time prospects, these big time tool, big time traits kind of guys. And now we have 2 of them. And I mean, I guess you could even say Deckers. Like Deckers, it was a highly touted prospect going into Iowa State. So not to the level. I mean, I don't think he won the Elite 11. Someone might go check and make sure. He might have been in the Elite 11, but Rattler is cut from a different cloth than the Ian Books, Garrett Grayson's, whatever. So I'm thrilled to watch this. I can't wait. What do you say? Tuesday they get to let it rip. So by the time this video goes out, it'll already have happened. But I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I really do. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some people who have sent me messages on the side who have said that they saw this interview and was like, "Damn, okay, maybe there's something. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's something because he ain't talking like a backup." All right, so there you go. Again, fair and balanced. I'm down the middle. Okay, I'm down the middle. King Herod, who was splitting people down the middle? Was it King Herod? Someone double check me. Pretty sure. Maybe not. Who the hell even knows? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.